It's showtime. Hello, everybody. Let's see if we can get this party started. Hi. Thank you for coming and welcome to GQUAT Traditions, where good friends become family and family is everything. Hello, Rachel, Unbiased LLC, African Dreamin', Jay, April, everyone. Let's see what happened. Uh-oh. Okay. So, I don't know. I'm trying to restrict the live. Hello, Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick like me. Sissy Joanne Stevens. So, it still hasn't come up on my phone so that I can restrict the live. So everybody's welcoming, everybody's saying hello. Let's see if I can get my silly phone to cooperate. This is live. Okay, here I go. It says 3 watching. There are more than 3 watching and more than 3 thumbs up. I thank you for hitting the thumbs up on your way in. Hello, the jewelry spot. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. So I hope everybody's having a good day, having a good week. Oh, woosah. My week sure is better than it was on Saturday. I'm trying to put this down so that I can show you that I'm wearing my merchandise. See if I can get that message off the screen. Uh-oh. So I did something, but I can't see the chat. Okay, you guys, bear with me. Uh-oh. Oh, exit full screen. How about that one? There we go. Learning to navigate. Maria Graham says, nice shirt. Yes, it was gifted to me by Blissful Acres, off grid, Susan. And I hope everybody is having a good week. I hope that everybody has been, Nikki said, phew, Nikki, you know how Murphy's Law, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Hope to get some more t shirts, you guys, and have some merch to sell. Let me hold my stomach in so you can read the writing on it. GQUAT Traditionzs. And, you know, I always say good friends become family, and family is everything. For those G Mama Grows, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I had the craziest day on Saturday. I was running around. My sister always gives me the real, the real deal. She was like, Sissy, I was concerned you were running around. And for those of you who don't know, the EMS broke my door in at my apartment stead doing a wellness check because my life alert went off and I didn't answer the phone. Oh, Maria said she would buy a t-shirt. G Mama Grows, she likes it. Well, thank you, you guys. I'm going to find a way to have some available, especially for my big 75th birthday coming up in November. I would love, love, love for you guys to come up. I'm not sure what day I will give a birthday celebration on YouTube, but if you guys could come up wearing an Auntie Ellen t-shirt, I'll try to figure it out. African Dreamin', thank you for coming. I don't know if it's Jay or April, probably Jay under the African Dreamin' moniker, but it's both of them. It's both of them. Yay! My village is here. So I always say, well, they always say it takes a village to raise a child. Last Saturday, I truly realized that it takes a village to keep old folks safe and stable, both of mind and spirit. I was truly, truly stressed out when I came on. It was like a comedy of errors. Everything went well wrong that day. I was running all over, but you guys settled me down. I felt, well, I knew I was safe. I knew I was safe. Either that or about to kill something or someone. But we won't talk about that. We won't say the K word. But yeah, yeah. And I realized that each of you were here because you care about me and you were concerned. And I had to wait until Monday to get my door fixed. I didn't like that. I felt compromised, but not threatened in any way. I just didn't like it. No worry, I did a good job. Oh, thank you, Maria, my sister, sister, sister. So I have so many things to talk to you about. First of all, those of you who are here for the first time, thank you and welcome. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me try this again. Let me see if I can get this off. I'm trying to get the message off. Uh-oh, no, I did that again. Hold on, you guys. I'm trying to remove the message. I know Nikki told me one time, that was a long time ago, and I can't get back to that one. Oh, I see. Yep, we did it. GQUAT stands for Garden, Quilt, and Art Traditions. For those of you who are here the first time or returning and visiting, thank you very much. I would love to have you guys support the channel by joining the family membership. It's $1.99 a month. Pieces of April, sometimes you scare me. Oh, I know. April, just don't worry. Nightbot just wants 3 emojis. We had a troll come in and do some damage. So Nightbot is really like watching our back, because when one of us is challenged, we're all challenged, because we're all a link. And any chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So we have to protect each and every one of us, or each and every one of us will get together and take something, someone down. So, one of the ways that, while all of you contribute to the village, to the welfare of GQUAT Traditions by coming in to the live, I know that it's 4 o'clock during the day, at the least on the East Coast and going west. Thank you, Matthew Willington. Loved ones must be protected at all costs. That's right. That's right. And we're going to talk about that even more. And if we don't protect the children and the elders in our community, we're all lost. The elders help share their wisdom. The children are our future, and you realize that more and more every day, and you have to be careful who you let in your village. Of course I could have a bigger channel. Of course I could do more to grow it. I don't try to. I like GT Junior said, I like having a small channel. I like knowing most of you individually, and it's good. We get a click, we get whatever to get monetized, the things that need to be done. But the people that come back every week are the ones that truly are about seeing your channel grow and supporting you. Sometimes there's so many videos, so many shorts we go through. We give the thumbs up, a little comment, maybe a heart, whatever your little signal is. Hi, pescatarian gardener. thank you for coming. And I've been watching each of your channels. I saw Pescatarian, planting stuff. I've been watching the jewelry spot almost every day, doing some earrings. Why? Because I've got my big earring tote out here. I mean, my jewelry tote with my beads and everything. I keep threatening to do something or fix some things that have come apart over the years and just enjoy passing things on and sharing things with you. Pieces of April has been doing a lot of art, sharing the places that she visits, and showing the inner self, the woman in her in Africa, the things that she does. Somebody said they're working on their postcard. Oh, thank you. And I have to say that I'm waiting for Lash's Journey to email me to give me her email address so that I can send her postcard that she won. But honestly, you guys, I've been kind of in the house since last Saturday, not because, hey, Cheryl Faulkner, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. We do love April. I love each and every one of you. It's like my children, my sisters, my brothers, my nieces and nephews, and you love them all. You love them in different ways. Speaking of supporting the channel, not only my channel but everybody's channel. Let me see if I can fix this so that you can see the GQUAT thing. But what you can do is, when those annoying commercials come on, just sit and watch them. It will add like 2 or 3 cents to the bottom line. Not very much, but it's a thought that counts, and every little bit adds to it. And not only that, it does something to the algorithms so that they show your videos more and more people can get to see you. So let's. I want to start off with a little icebreaker. It's 4:12. I usually say like 4:10, 4:12. We'll start going on. Hey, Mona, sifting some soil and more. Mona and I have been friends like almost 2 years. Mona and Fr. Humphrey. We met. I met Mona during a grow off. We were on the same team 2 winters ago, and we've been connected ever since. We've been family ever since. Fr. Humphrey, we met on another network where we were painting. We were painting April and doing arts and crafts. And at that time, I was new to YouTube. They sent me the link. I didn't even know how to come up and paint live. But I've got that going on a little bit, a little bit. So I want to do an icebreaker because one of the things that happened to me this week that kept me in, I stabbed myself in the foot. What? How do you stab yourself in the foot? Well, I was tinkering around after I was running around after my wellness check invasion, and I think I was cooking, doing something, and I had my cooking shears on the counter, and my cooking shears are KitchenAid, so they KitchenAid makes pretty good stuff, and I knocked the scissors off, and they went down and they hit my foot, and I said ow. So I figured it was bruised and it was hurting, but I didn't know that the skin was broken until the next day when it turned all red and everything. So I stabbed myself in the foot. Oh, thank you, African Dreamin', for the super chat. I appreciate you and I love you. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's start off with a little icebreaker because that's something else that happened to me this week. You notice I don't even have on my red lipstick. I forgot to put it on. Like, oh, well, it is what it is. But that's part of what happened was, have you ever, the weather's changing, it's getting cold in Connecticut, my skin is dry. I usually have one of those big vaporizers in my room, like you put in for children, that will put out like a gallon of water a day in my bedroom. Well, I was doing something and I smiled and I cracked my bottom lip. Has any of you ever done that? Like smiled or done something? Erica, my five. Ugh. My fly family. I saw you home alone, jumping into streets, the YouTube streets, because you were home alone. Billy wasn't there. Alex wasn't there. You was being grown up there surfing the internet, going 100 miles an hour. Yep, I saw you. I don't know if I got back to leave a comment, but I sure clicked the thumbs up and watched for a while. I do that with all of you. I do that with all of you. Oh no. Sorry about that, you guys. So I thought it was off, but I know what it is. It's one of my neighbors, and I was expecting a package, and they will probably knock on my door. I'll just take care of it. I used to get so freaked out when that happened. Oh man, I would have a heart attack. But that's just life. And pieces of April, not Nightbot is fussing about something. I didn't even see what he's fussing about. But nice. Hello, Electro Jed. This is my first time seeing you here. Thank you for coming and welcome. And yes, Erica, I keep chapstick by the bed. I keep eye drops by the bed, my glaucoma drops. I keep everything, cough drops, water, everything. Cheers. How many of you have ever cracked your lips smiling or whatever? Put a one in the chat, just out of curiosity. Just or knock something off the counter and injured your foot, cut it, burned it, something. Put a two in there. Has anybody pieces of Nightbot on me? I do emojis. Well, April, I'm going to have to get him under control. Oh, and Nightbot got real cute a couple weeks ago with our friend and my nephew, who doesn't want to be my nephew, David King Watermelon Corey. And David kept doing something, and Nightbot told him, "Oh, come on, bruh." Bruh. He called him bruh. Rita's Roost. Hello. Welcome and thank you. You guys who don't know about Rita's Roost, she's a quilter, and she just started working back in her she shed. Most of you guys know that I'm a long time quilter, and I met her through Our Treasured Home. And she does one of the things that I like to do. She likes to read to her granddaughter. Today she was actually babysitting two of her granddaughters. And I did see that. I gave the thumbs up. I don't know if I got a chance to go back, but thank you, Rita. And I really, really love your channel. She does a lot of cooking, a lot of canning, and just some more crafts that you guys are interested in doing. So we talked about the thumbs up. Oh, speaking of thumbs up, my last live I talked about, and I want to go further. Hello, Jones. Hello, Bayou. And I was going so fast, and I was trying to get out of the way so that and so the chat will come on. But we talked about hand signals. The Jones Truth, the international signal for needing help is you curl your thumb under and close your four fingers above, and you keep doing that. That's the international symbol of someone in distress, someone who's either being kidnapped, a victim of domestic abuse, who's being kidnapped, and they don't always do it like this. Sometimes they might be doing it under their hand so that their aggressor won't see them. They might be showing the signal behind their back, but be aware of that. And this is worldwide. But what I didn't say, and I wanted to say that it could be a man, it could be a young boy with the human trafficking. So many people, I have goosebumps. Look at this. I have goosebumps on my arm. So many people are being taken against their will or just abused just in mass settings. So be aware of anybody who's flashing their fingers like this, and don't you intervene. Don't you go over there and do something, but dial 911, make someone else who has the capacity to protect you and that person to do something about it. So I just wanted to say that make sure that you tell your granddaughters, your young children, when they're old enough to understand. And Rita's Roost reminded me of that. So it's the curled thumb under. I got arthritis hands, and you curl the fingers above. Okay, and this is worldwide. Several young women who have been taken against their will and being held for years, have been recovered that way. So I just wanted to put that out there that these hand signals apply to boys, girls, men, and women. Men and women. You see the stuff that's going on overseas and people being taken against their will. You don't know who's who and what's what. So, again, this is about protecting our whole village and everybody we're connected to, or the world at large. Because when one person is being threatened by any way, we just have to protect each other. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But going to children in my village, I'm the second oldest in my personal family village. I've seen a child being rescued by using that hand signal. It happened in a restaurant, and a child was being abducted, and the waitress saw the hand signal and called the police. Again, I have goosebumps. Thank you for sharing that, G Mama Grows. Thank you for sharing that. And again, don't put yourself at risk. I've heard of other people who tried to intervene and they ended up getting hurt. It was somebody that was exposing, I think it was in New York City, that was exposing somebody that was abusing young boys. Electrojet said, "That's good to know. You didn't know that. You'll be looking for that sign from now on. No matter, God only knows how many times you could have missed it." They could be in the back of a car. I've seen people rescued, or a car driving by, and some young girl was in the back seat against her will, trying to flash the hand signals. So, yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to share that. And that's being said, in my village today, I caught the look. I was a walking wounded this week between my foot and my lip was cracked. So I didn't really have my lipstick on. I had lip liner. I intended to put some lipstick on for y'all. I try to fix myself and look like a little something something, but it is what it is. But I went, and once a month I take the senior handicap bus with one of my friends, and we go shop, and we push our little carts up the little ramp because the bus driver will help us bring all our stuff in and everything. And she, like, her eye was bandaged today, and she's not able to get in regular cars or vehicles because of her situation. So we're literally like the blind leading the blind. So the bus driver knows us both. He said that we were hitting each other, and that's why we were. Hi, Hershey. Hershey wants to say hi. Auntie Joanne, he heard me say your name. He knows Auntie Joanne. Okay, down guy. So wipe my hands off because I want to. I'm wiping my hands. I want to show you something. Before I show you what else I picked up I actually got food. She and I go shopping. There are a lot of local shops around here, and we go shopping and pick up stuff together. Our treasured home. Hi, Nancy. Nancy, you forgot to email me. Let me see if I can put my email address. Nancy, I wanted to talk to you about the journal cover with the mud cloth on it. And I've been trying to get in touch with you. I know you've been going 100 miles a minute, you and Anastasia. So, you guys, anybody that wants to get in touch with me, my email address lashes you too, ellenpanky@gmail.com. If you care to send a cash app to help the channel, it is $ Ellen Panky 13, and I will put that up because I want to see the comments and see what you guys are saying. So today, what I picked up, and I want to show you at the local farm. I put it in this little basket. It's not from my garden, but I want you to see how fresh it is. It's from one of the local farms. So what this is, they asked me if I wanted the carrots. Yes, I wanted the carrots with the top on it and the dirt still on it too, because this is how fresh they are. They had fresh apples, and the apples are like all different size. Why? Because they're not commercially treated. These are from local farms, and they are what they are. They're all different, varied sizes where the people try to collect them. I've got 3 small eggplant. It's getting cold here in Connecticut. It's in the 40s at night, but I got these. I got these peppers. Not really sure what kind they are. I'm pretty sure they're sweet. They don't look like giant jalapenos, but I'll find out when I cut into them. Oh, here's one more small eggplant. I got a really ripe red bell pepper. I got 1 sweet potato. And again, it's just me. This is more than enough for me for the week. I'm going to have a salad for dinner. Look how fresh and leafy green this is. This one was a little bit damaged, so they pulled the outer leaves off. But this is good eating, folks. Even when I can't grow it myself, my garden is actually very exceedingly actual ouch. My rotator cuff. My garden is very shady, and Yankee Sister will tell you. And I cannot grow everything. Yes, the romaine, and because of that, Yankee Sister lives not too far from me. Auntie Joanne says, "Hi, Mr. Hershey. We're getting on the airplane pretty soon and go see Auntie J and Uncle Roscoe." Hi, Vision Preparedness. Thank you for coming, and welcome, welcome, welcome. So Yankee's sister came by. Actually, her son-in-law came by last night, and I had a little care package for her that I put in our secret place. So somebody said those veggies look good. The Marconi peppers, they probably are. They're getting chopped up and eaten no matter what. I love spicy. I love spicy. And so I went to see, a Yankee sister said she called me last night. I woke up at the end of Wind Down Wednesday with Hands in the Dirt, Nikki, and Bougie. And her son-in-law called me and says, "Well, I'm outside and I have a secret place that we put things." So I left something for Yankee's sister. And look, she left me some. If you go to her channel, Yankee Sister Home said, she'll show you where she was doing some canning and how she was doing it. And this looks so good. It's tomato sauce with herbs, onion, and garlic that she grew in her yard. And she sent some green sauce. When I make my curry or one of my Jamaican dishes, I will use this in it. I'm putting it back in the fridge. I took it out so that you could see that this is friends helping friends. We're all in the same community. And one of the other things I picked up, nope, nothing for myself. I have a 3-year-old great grandson, and he loves, loves, loves for Nana to read to him. I'm actually going to do like Rita's Roost. She has another channel where she reads to the kids and stuff. She sits in her little rocking chair, a little red rocking chair next to her long arm machine. And this is a little book. When my son was a baby, a little boy, he had a book that he loved, loved, loved. It was "Are You My Mother?" Do you remember that, Sissy? And the little bird fell out of the nest while the mother was away one day, and the little bird went up to the steam shovel. "Are you my mother?" "No, I'm not your mother." And then he went up to all these different things looking for his mother. And my son is a grown man now, and he's not a mama's boy. He's a very independent guy, very independent 2A thinker, black belt in capoeira martial arts. But I like this book because it has the thick pages. Rai Rai is 3 years old, and his mother does my hair sometimes, and it takes like 4 or 5 hours to braid it, to twist it, to do whatever she's doing. And Rai Rai entertains Nana. He babysits Nana, who's tender-headed, and Nana reads to him. We color together. And this book, and I'm going to write my name in it and his name in it, and it's "Guess How Much I Love You." And I'm going to put over here, "Guess How Much Nana Loves You." And we're going to read it. "Are You My Mother?" Erica. Alex used to love that book. Oh, yes. Yes, that book, I gave it to my granddaughter, my grandchildren. And of course, I would cross it out, "Are you my Nana?" or whatever. So this little book has the thick pages in case he gets a little rough with it or decides to throw it or everything. And it's so cute. Little nut brown hair who was going to bed. And I thought this was really cute. Then there was a book again for toddlers, "Opposites." And it shows what different things are opposite, because if you're a prepper, like vision preparedness, if you have to leave, if you get evacuated, stop, Hershey. Hershey, stop. Somebody's probably at my door. He only barks or alerts if something is there. He's really a well trained dog. And but this little book has interactive things, like you slide it and it'll tell you if something is big. Then you slide it back. And then you said Bonzo's bone is big. Over here it says Pooch's bone is, where's the little thing? Oh, here it is. And you slide it. So he's going to have fun. Like I was saying, and to vision prepared, you may end up in an evacuation situation, and the elders are going to be caregivers for the youngers, while the people who are able, like vision preparedness, like Erica, are doing what they do to support the group, to support the village, to support the family. I thought this, and it also teaches a 3-year-old what opposites are, big from little. Our treasured home says that looks awesome. I got 4 little books for him, and it says "Good Night Moon," and another one he loves, loves, loves when I read him animal stories and I make the animal noises like the animals make, like a baby squirrel is a kit. How many of you knew that? How many of you knew that? I remember one time, the storytelling time, I was in New York for a family funeral, and I was in one room reading to the smaller children. And then I looked up, and all of a sudden I realized that the room was full of adults. The adults were having fun listening to me, like ad-libbing the stories, making things up, and doing things with my voice. I actually have a pretty good speaking voice. I was at the tax the tax assessor's office in a nearby town checking on my taxes one day, and the tax assessor came out from the next room. He said, "Miss, I don't know what you do for a living, but you should do voiceovers. You have such a great voice." I said, "Yeah, but that sounds like a job. Ain't nobody trying to do that. I'm retired." I didn't say that to him. I said that to my head. I said to myself. Hey, K Sings 55. Maybe you need to read this book. Oh, to tell you the names of it. The infant of a goat is a kid. How many of you knew that? A mountain lion. A mountain lion's baby is a cub. This will only take a minute, but I thought it was interesting and fun. The offspring of an arowana that looks like, I guess that's a fish, is called a fry. A fry. Look, I'm learning. I remember reading a book to my great grandchildren, and it was about nocturnal animals, and I learned a lot from that. The child of a grizzly bear is called a cub. Just some quick little information in case you get a trivia or you might want to go on Tori's brain game, it might come up. The offspring of a squirrel is called a kit. The jewelry spots that she did, I knew some of them, not all of them. The offspring of a duck is called a duckling. Hola, mi hermano. We're having library today. Yes, library is every day. I actually like books. I like touching them, and I try to pass that on to the kids. And the offspring of a leopard, this is a black leopard, and it's called a cub. So that's enough of the books today. And we talk about organizing our life. And I wanted to talk to you about two ways of getting rid of your to do list. And one of the things that I learned to do in my career, I learned it. Hey, Jags, J3GS, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. One of the things I learned when I used to work for these big fancy law firms, I learned that to clear your desk, to clear your backlog, every day, find something small, something that's on your to do list. Oh, and by the way, anything that you have on your vision board, anything that you've written down to do in the future, it's just a wish. It is only a wish. Hello, Brampton Gardner. Thank you for coming and welcome. It's only a wish. To make it actionable, you have to put a date in and a time and what it is you plan to do. So again, in order to make it actionable, get it off your to-do list, you put it on your calendar. You schedule a time to complete it and you make it actionable. Otherwise, it's just a dream, it's just a wish, it's nothing. You're never going to accomplish it. Another thing that I do, even in my retirement, what I do is there are a lot of little things. I have 1,000 projects started, but I also finish 1,000 little projects as well. Auntie Joanne will tell you I do something every day, even if it's only 1% of everything that I want to do, everything I think about. I know that I can't do it all, but I do something. And I want to show you a couple of the things I've completed since Saturday that were on my to do list that were started, not finished. And this is a set of pillowcases that was requested. And I was looking for this fabric. I knew I had it somewhere. And it has a lot of writing on it about magic possibilities. It has quilting blocks, but this guy's wife is a master quilter. That's how we met. This guy and I, and his wife was doing some of the things that I do in quilting, and he himself is a not a machine repairer. He refurbishes them completely. The blue featherweight that I have, he took that apart, every single piece, down to the bare metal. He soaked it. Uh, well, Brampton, I didn't change the settings on Nightbot. I actually like them. It's three emojis or less because we had some issues with trolls, and they usually come in throwing a lot of signs and signals, and it's almost like a little gang, throwing signals around. So I may do it, but for now I want to keep it the same. Thank you for your suggestion. And but most people who are following know that they can use three emojis. So I wanted to he handmade the cases that go with my new machines, and he created them to look old, like the antique ones, So this set is for him. Finally finished it, crossed off the list, off the to-do list. And then oh, you guys, guess what? Thanks to your prayers and good wishes and good vibes in the universe, my mom came home from the nursing home, and she's at her home. Yesterday, I called her. It was her first day home, and she told me, it was like, she said, "Oh, I finally got out of jail." And she didn't have time to talk to me. Her house, she has one of these big wraparound captain's porches on her house. And even though it's cool here in Connecticut, she wanted to just go sit out on her porch and look up and down the street. She just loves sitting outside. She just loves sitting outside. So, but when she was in the nursing home, I made a set of pillowcases for her, and I brought them to the nurse. Actually, I made her a couple sets, but these are for standard pillows. Her bed at home is king size, and she has king size pillowcases. So they're at least 8 inches longer than standard pillowcases. Auntie Joanne has all king size handmade pillowcases. But my daughter said, "Oh, Mom, I love those." My daughter never wants anything. Don't buy her anything. "Mom, I don't need anything. I don't have any room for everything." She's a minimalist. Her and Auntie Joanne don't have anything extra in their house. Me, I'm the one with all this stuff. Auntie Joanne would never have a bowl on top of her bookcase. That's just me. And they know that's just how I am. So I was going to make these for my daughter. And normally this pillowcase comes with like three pieces, a little flange in here. But guess what? If you don't iron it, the flange never goes flat again. Auntie Joanne is the only person I know that irons her pillowcases every time to go on her bed. Her bed always looks nice with all her handmade quilts and handmade stuff. But so I was going to give this to my daughter. Yes, this is the one. And you see the initials on it. It looks like crossword cross stitch, right? But the other pillowcase, I put the initials are upside down. I can never give my perfect daughter two imperfect pillowcases. So now I don't know. They'll go to one of the granddaughters. So anyway, I would like to know from each of you, who of you have shared your time, or how have you spent your time, your treasure, or your talent this week? Have you done something good for others? Have you done something in the garden? Lorraine T says, "I'm so organized." I really am. I have a lot of stuff in these four walls. I do. But these are a few of my favorite things: raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. So I have the things that I love, love, love. And when they're broken, when they're gone, that's just it. I had a set of dishes that they're not plates and they're not bowls, but they're kind of wide, like you would have spaghetti. And I had a whole set of them, and you can tell they must have been good dishes at one time because they were numbered. They were numbered on the bottom. Cheryl Faulkner says she's doing some good now, dog sitting until Saturday. Good for you. Brampton Gardener is propagating plants to attempt her first terrarium. I love those. They're self contained. Hubby sent up the greenhouse, Brampton says, so that she has to go and put her peppers inside. Our treasures home says, awesome. Praise the Lord. That is good news. Thank you. Amen. So I have a set of dishes that my second husband bought. I want to say in the 1980s. I don't think we ate out of those like gold plated dishes. I don't think we ate out of them 5 years, 5 times in the last 40 years. So, and all my other dishes to the white set were broken except one. And I remember when he took me to the pottery to get that set of dishes, and they were quite costly. They came with like 8 of everything. I wanted 8 additional of those bowls and plates because that's always been one of my favorite ones to eat out of. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to buy anything else. These were my good dishes. I'm special. I am going to take. So I took 4 of them out and put them with my everyday dishes. And guess what? I'm going to eat out of those every day, because I deserve it. G Mama Groves said she weeded, planted, and mulched 2 yards while tending to her garden in Michigan. Can you help a sister out? I have to harvest some peppers. These are a few of my favorite. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad. I have you guys. And I have counseling on every Tuesday, which is why I miss some of you that go live on Tuesdays. I know that you do African Dreaming. I know that a couple of channels I missed, but that's why. Our treasured home, the same here. You have all kinds of stuff. I love that. And your granddaughter helping you, always helping someone, transportation, trying to source the substrate and materials on the cheap. Those pillowcases are fabulous. Hint, hint, sissy. They're too small for you. Our treasured home, did you email me a second time today? Because the last time, I don't know what happened to it, but I couldn't find them. You'll take them, sissy. Auntie Joanne has more of my stuff than anybody in the family. And I don't buy my family things. They all work. I have 2 children. They're not children. They're grown. They're adults. Sunday Backyard Gardener sent me a little message one day. It was kind of funny. And he said, Auntie Ellen, I didn't know you have children my age. Sunday Backyard Farmer, I have children older than you. Older than you. You guys just don't realize how old I am. I'm one of the oldest people on YouTube. G Mama Gross said, I love Gardner, our treasured home. Well, you're gonna love it when I get off. I will look, Nancy, to find it. I love stuff. This chair, and I'm going to go over and start some work because I want to show you what we're going to work on tonight, and that will be an extra large hobo bag. And we talked about, I just want to make sure I went and talked about every, oh, one thing I didn't talk about, I also did, because GQUAT stands for Garden, Quilt, and Art Traditions. I am a very, very good cook. I cook everything from scratch. Age is nothing but a number. LOL. You and Jay. You guys are funny. You guys are funny. So I made dinner last night for today. I gave most of it away because I gave it to neighbors, but I made a pot of split pea soup, and it had yellow split pea soup, and I put carrots, potatoes, garlic, green peppers, and onions from the garden in it. It was so good. Cheryl Faulkner said she saw it. It's good. Jay is older than you and I. Jay. I got clothes you all's age. And pew pews too. I got pew pews older than you guys. Older than you guys. So I just want to show you real quick because we're going over to my work area, and I want to show you what I put. inside my bags that I make. Mom, yes, mommy's still going strong. Yes. And when she was home, they took a picture of her in her bed, in her big king size bed. And her bed had one of my quilts on it, one of her favorite quilts, April, that was in purple and had 2,500 pieces in it because she and I worked on it one summer when I was in North Carolina. We do have good genes. We live a long time. So this is a piece of needlepoint plastic with it's so it's washable. I put it in the bottom of my bags. It's covered, and I'm the only person in the world that I know that does that with the needlepoint plastic. I cut it in half. I double it. I sew them together, then I cover it with batting and then a piece of fabric, whatever's convenient. And I put it in the bottom of the bag. This one, because it's one of the smaller bags, I put a tie on it because the tie makes it hold even more. And this one, I'm showing you this because it's square on the bottom, so it sits flat even when it's empty. It's got this huge pocket in the front. You can put your cell phone, whatever. You can go to pick stuff in your garden. Okay, thank you, Nancy. You email me again today. I will find it. Yes, the needlepoint plastic, because the plexiglass has injured people. So this bag has a top on it and a facing. And of course, my little label. This one is going out to one of you subscribers. You know which one you are. So let's go over to the work area and I'm going to show you how I make an extra large hobo bag. Excuse me, my lip slipped. And this one will be as big as a duffel bag. And nobody knows your business when you're going out. If you're going out for the weekend or to do something, maybe to spend the night with a gentleman or a young lady or something, nobody's going to know because it doesn't look like a duffel bag like you're leaving for the night or sneaking out of mama's house. You know, everybody lives at home with their mother again. And yes, Brampton says the needlepoint plastic works great. Great, great, great. So, you guys, I want to encourage you to do what you love what you do. So, let's go over to the work area and I will show you. Excuse me, I'm going to move slowly so I don't make you throw up. I guess you guys can see some of my art on the walls. Slowly, I turned inch by inch. I've got stuff for painting. Every art that there is, every craft that there is, I can do here. If you ever had a place where you who are artists could have a studio that you could cook anything you want, you had all the supplies to cook, you could sleep in several places in here, do your art in any single room in here. Joy, oh, she's gonna call. You open a new can of worms. Split okra soup. Oh, now that's interesting. I do have some okra in the freezer. Before I I show you what the bag looks like, and it's the same as the feed sack bag, except for those of you who want to make this bag is going to be similarly made. It's a piece of double-sided quilted fabric, and I'm going to stitch it on a straight stitch machine because everybody doesn't have a machine that does a bunch of fancy stitches. Let me slide you over maybe a little bit more. Hold on, you guys, because I want you to be able to get a better view. So this fabric has this on one side and plain animal print on the inside. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it. I have stay stitched around the edge already. And this piece of fabric is 22 inches by 40 inches by 42 inches. So it's going to be a deep, heavy hobo bag, Nikki, excuse me, a hobo bag. And this holds a lot. Auntie Joanne has one and it's humongous. So already I have pre-cut the plastic that's under the bottom of the bag I just showed you. And I just did a running stitch on my machine to hold it together. Some of you who have the newer machines, the lightweight machines, won't be able to sew through these. You might have to hand sew them to put it together, but that's okay. That's okay. And this is the length, the long way. These pieces of needlepoint plastic are 13 by 10. So I cut this, half of 10 is 5. So I cut these 13 by 10 and I put them together, and I will put a piece of batting over it and a piece of cloth. I have already made handles for this bag. Your machine used to have fancy stitches until you decide to service it. Okay, I've been servicing these too. When you go and spend like $400 or $500 on 3 or 4 machines each, stop Hershey, each you learn to work on, and it's fun working on them. The stitches may come back, but the truth of the matter is, Brampton, that the computers in those machines goes out and then they can't be fixed. It's like the old computers. There are no parts to put in with them. When they're gone, they're gone. So then you end up with basic stitches or whatever. This is a piece of 5-inch double-sided fabric, just like the leopard I just showed you, except this is black. You don't think all the computer connections could reconnect it properly? Exactly. They may not even have the whatever it is to reinstate them, like the old computers. You can't use the computer or even a cell phone that you used 5 years ago. They just become extinct. So this is a piece of double-sided fabric. I cut it 5 inches. Then I folded it in half. Then I folded it. I'll show you on a smaller piece. So this is a piece of fabric that's 2.5 inches. The reason I'm showing you is because this is I use for my tie. So I folded this in half. Then I opened it up and I folded one side in to the half, one side into the half. Then I folded them together. And then when I stitch down here, this is what I will use for a tie. Or I'm going to let you guys help me decide whether to make a tie for this bag or whether to make a little loop, because I don't really need a tie. I put a tie on the small bags to hold more things. Isn't this the cutest little button? And I found this little button and I think it would look cute on here. Or do you think it's too much? Who likes this little button that they think I should put on this when it's finished? Put a 1 in the chat if you like this little button. It's just some weird little size. It's one of a kind. It's the only one I ever had. And I put it up here to keep from losing it on my spin pool, on my spool pin. And this, for those of you who like the antique machines, I know some of you have them. This is a spool pin doily that was crocheted. Mona, you guys that crochet, and they're in different shapes. They sell them on Etsy, but one of the ladies in one of my classes that I volunteer teach crocheted. I bought like 10 of these from her, and I just think they're cute. I have them on all of my antique machines. Actually all of them, and it looks better than these little red ones, that the machine shop puts on it. Why do they put those on it? Because when you're sewing, a lot of times the spool of thread spins around and around and around, and it scratches your machine. It scratches your machine. Hey, Darthex, thank you for coming and welcome. Welcome, welcome. So now we have the basic body of an extra large hobo bag. We have two straps, or we could use pre-made straps. I have a couple rolls of pre-made straps. I'll get some and show you guys real quick. I had it over here. Just a minute. La, 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 la. Here I come. Or not. It's called webbing. And it's black. There's so many things in here that are black. I just don't see it right now. But I'll show it to you at another time. And what it is a pre-made strap, but you can cut it any size you want. You like that cute little button? You guys like that cute little button? Okay, I will put the cute little button on it. So now let me show you. I made a facing for the inside of the bag because we're going to use the easy way to put handles on. Instead of sewing each one on individually, we're going to sew it on as we're sewing the bag together. So I put that over there. We're not going to use the tie, but what I will do, the button I just made, I will cut this as about a certain size. I'll decide when I put it together, and I'll sew these flat like this and leave a little space, put these side by side. Can you see that? And the button will go through here and it will fit over the top of the bag. So I'm just showing you this, you guys, so that you can see that this is the same basic design, and you just change it to whatever fabric you have, whatever you're doing. This was a square piece of fabric that I had, that it goes to another fabric, and it actually is the inside of that gold fabric that I like so much and use a lot. But I liked it because these little circles look like the spots in the leopard. So I'm going to use this as a big outside pocket. And by putting an outside pocket, when the bag is sitting up square, these big thick pockets help the bag when you put it down. I never put my bags on the ground though. And you see how big it is. You see it's like from my waist up to my eye. So when you put it down, it will lay flat. But guess what I'm going to do on this one? I have stopping by. Hey, David Corey. Thank you for coming. Hey, GQUAT 1000. David found a way to deal with Nightbot. For those of you who weren't here, when he wants to leave a heart, he's leaving 1,000 hearts when he puts a heart times 1,000. It's like 10 to the X degree. He's putting a heart to the 1,000th degree. And G Mama Grows. So this strange looking pocket will be in the inside. And what it is I was making a duffel bag, and this is the double quilted fabric, which is a little pricey, but the plain colors don't cost as much as the ones that are double-sided with two different prints. So I'm going to sew around this, make this a pocket for the inside, and this pocket I'm going to put on the outside. So, a couple things I wanted to show you. I like to teach you guys. I want you guys to know everything I know. This little template is what you use to calibrate your machine. Some of you who are quilters and do advanced quilting, this mark here, that's 1/4 of an inch. This is 1 3/8 inch. This size is 3/4 inch. This piece is 1 1/4 inch. And this is a 1/2 inch. Why is that important? I will show you. When you do some patterns, like some of the intricate fancy patterns that I do, like I'm working on a Christmas challenge quilt in African fabrics, and it's very, very detailed. I'm working on it. I didn't want to do it on, oh, Cheryl the Pearl. I didn't want to do it on live because when you're going live, everything goes wrong. And I didn't want to mess up these expensive fabrics. I'll show you as I go along and complete them. But how you calibrate a machine is to see if you're sewing so that you get the right pieces to go. It's like putting kitchen cabinets together. For those of you who do carpentry, you have to put a certain hole, a certain width. You need things 16 inches on center when you're putting studs in wall. It's something like that. It's something like that. And you have to be really precise when you get into some of the advanced stitching. I try to show you stitching that's simple, that everybody can do, that at some point, and it's going to be fun. You don't want to work hard. Some of these quilts, you work hard. You work really hard. The other pattern I'm working on is really intricate, but it could be simple. It could be really simple doing pinwheels out of half square triangles. So we're going to calibrate this machine to see if it's sewing correctly for 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to turn the light on and turn it so it's not directly in your eyes. And what you do is you take this template and you put it under the needle, and the needle should be like right in the center, right in the center, and you slowly take your hand and lower the wheel. Then you put the presser foot down, and you can see if it's 1/4 of an inch. If it's 1/4 of an inch, I happen to have a 1/4 inch foot on my machine. But just because you have a 1/4 inch foot on your machine doesn't mean that you're sewing 1/4 of an inch, which is the general size that you sew on for quilting. And then you can do that for any side. And then on your sewing machine, if you want to mark it, you can permanently or semi permanently put painter's tape or just any type of, like, the white tape, any type of tape that you want to put down. But that's not normally needed for everything. But those of you like Miss Ellen Campbell, she'll probably come back and see the live. You will have to do that. Quilt Africa Fabrics, they have a challenge for those of you who want to see quilting in Africa fabric and detailed, and it's a group worldwide. Some of them are advanced quilters, some of them are beginning quilters. David's asking Mike, how many seeds you got? How many seeds you got? Mike's Chaotic Gardening made another seed haul. I saw that today. Like, he doesn't have any seeds. Oh, and by the way, you guys, to put this out in the universe, you know how you say, I need some of the seeds for the, what is it? The blue peas. I need some of those, and I need a couple, just 2 or 3 moringa seeds. Okay, okay, universe. I need a couple of moringa seeds and a couple of the blue. I would like some of the blue pea seeds that make the blue tea, or purple. I won't be. I won't be. I won't be mad. Hello, 10, the educated natural. Kim, thank you for coming. I saw your video when you were talking about the different things on the channels and who your audience is. I saw that and I watched it watched most of it, but I didn't get back to leave a message. I gave the thumbs up. So the last thing I want to show you is this quick little template. You can make one yourself out of plastic. This one is hard because I use it a lot and I use it for different things. This is a 2.5-inch square, and this is what I use in the corners of my bag. Actually, I will show you what I do to make my bag sit flat. So I take my fabric and I fold it in half so that I can get, and maybe I'll put a pin in it just to keep it from slipping, just to keep it from slipping. And don't worry about these strings. If I had a serger or something, you could serge it, but I'm not going to. I have these old scissors, and I will do that later and straighten the edges. It's only going to ravel so much, or leave it. It will stop eventually. But, oh, you know what this is, you guys? This is a miniature pressing pad. I use it for some of my smaller pieces of quilting, or if you're making postcards, you can use this with a full-size iron or even one of the small irons. I just made it pink because I don't really like pink. And when I put it on my table or leave it somewhere in my apartment, it sticks out like a sore thumb because I don't have anything pink. I don't use pink in general. So, what I'm going to do to get a square bottom on this bag, I'm going to put this up for a minute. That'll hold it. I'm going to actually get a very dark pen so that you guys can see it. I have lots of pens that I could see, but you guys won't be able to see it. So I'm going to get a heavy one. 1 second. And just when I think I have everything right there, I try to clean up so that it won't be just a big hodgepodge. And Lord have mercy, don't put something clear down on a black surface and have issues with vision. You'll never find it again. So what I'm going to do is put this little template. Of course, you can make your own with a piece of paper, plastic, or just take a ruler and draw it. I'm going to use this heavy marker so that you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to mark 2.5 inches on each corner. And there are other ways you can fold your corners down in a triangle to make your bag flat, but then you end up with a big thickness here. Some of you may want it, some of you don't. I prefer to do it this way because it's just my favorite way. And then it depends on what machine I'm stitching on. All machines aren't going to stitch over four or five different thicknesses of fabric. So where are my favorite scissors? I don't know. So I will try to cut through these 60-year-old scissors and see if they cut. Yep, they still cut. So I'm cutting this piece out to clear out the thickness. It's like you make a dart or something when you're sewing a dress. These scissors are not the sharpest, but they work. I keep threatening to buy a new pair. See this? You're taking all this extra thickness out, and I'm going to do it on this side. I figured with the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving and Christmas, some of you might decide to go hoboing or traveling or whatever, and it would be fun to have a nice new bag. Also, I have old lady arthritis in my fingers. So, and I'm cutting through like 6 layers with scissors that are literally 60 years old. Maybe older than that, because I started sewing in junior high, high school, and my parents bought me everything I whined about, and I still have it. I still have a sewing machine that was gifted to me in 1966. Auntie Joanne does too. Hoboing sounds fun. Yep. Yep. So this is what your bag looks like before you sew the sides. Now I will put this on the side for now because what are we going to do? We're going to sew the pockets on there before. Guess what I just found? My good scissors. Nothing's ever very far away. But that's why I put everything right back where it goes, because if not, I'll be looking at you guys talking and won't see it. I don't like that bright light in your eyes. So I'm going to turn it like this, which means I'm going to have to sew crooked sideways. So I have this piece that I'm going to make another pocket, and I'm going to just sew around the edges and leave a little space. I'm actually going to sew with this off-white. I generally sew most of my quilting with off-white, but this bag I don't want white showing everywhere, or a gray, something natural, because white is not normally in the universe and it sticks out like a sore thumb. Oh, this is so black, it's like hard to see. It's like a black hole. So I'm going to sew around this. And I have, just because I was sewing some jeans together, because I'm making a hobo bag, the one that I really, really love, the one that I want to keep for myself. And I'm making it out of recycled jeans. And the recycled jeans came from my great grandchildren as they were growing up. They're teenagers now. And their mother, who is my granddaughter, gave me a suitcase with all their old clothes. And here, Nana, maybe you can make something out of this. So of course I did. So I think I'll sew from this side, just because it's smoother. So I'm just going to go around and sew the edges of this. This is going to be an awesome bag. And everybody loves animal print. Everybody. And for those of you who have been here watching the channel, a couple weeks ago, I got some sewing machine oil from a special shop that deals with, the name of this machine was called a featherweight. Why? Because it's a heavy duty machine. This one was made 75 years ago in 1948, the year that I was born. And you put special oil in the engine. In an antique machine, you never, ever, ever put regular sewing machine oil. I think I got a little too close to the end that time. I'll back up a couple stitches and turn. You never put sewing machine oil in a vintage sewing machine in the motor, because it'll lock it up and mess it up. Not ever, ever, ever. It'll end up costing you a lot of money. Brampton Gardner says she likes to work on her machines. I do too. This one, the timing is not exactly perfect because you know who was working on it, taking things apart, the top, the bottom, everything. Mr. Hershey, please come. Please come, good boy. By the way, Auntie Joanne, when I go to Arizona in a few weeks, Mr. Hershey's coming with me, and Auntie Joanne has his daughter, Angel, who is no angel at all. She'll be acting up, but we love her. We love her so much. But she is spoiled, 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 spoiled. Hush, Hershey. Hush, hush, hush. So I'm coming around this way. She'll be coming around the mountain when she left, 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 right, left. I call cadence when Auntie Joanne, Uncle Roscoe, and I walk. Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes it's naughty. Hush. Stop. So I'm going to cut the corners to reduce the bulk. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I always put everything in the trash every time. Then you always make sure that you take all of your pins out. The worst thing you want to do in quilting is sewing is sew something up with the pin inside. I did that once years ago when I first started quilting. Now I'm going to take this. It's hard to see which is which. Hello, Brittany's Life. I haven't seen you before. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. So now I'm turning this pocket inside out and making sure there are no pins in it. Oh, I was making a quilt, and when I started long arming it, I found out that there was a pin sewn in the inside. I actually, hey, you Grow Row, thank you for coming and welcome. I ended up having to poke a little hole in my quilt to get the pin out. Hershey, no, no, no. My handy dandy chopstick, and I'm poking the corners out. My quilt, I poked a hole in it. Mr. Hershey only barks. There's somebody in the hallway near my door. And I had to put a hole in my quilt, then put a patch over it so that you couldn't see it. But after that, I learned to double check several times to make sure that that didn't happen again. So this is an odd shaped, and I forget what shape in geometry this is, an obelisk or something. It's not a rectangle. The sides are parallel. The top and the bottom are not even. Neither is the bottom. I'm going to pin this under so that I can stitch across it. Okay? So now this is one pocket. I actually have a couple pieces of this. This would be a cute shaped little bag, for like a crossbody bag with a little bottom and a side. But that's another life. Just giving you some ideas. Mr. Twitch is the squirrel invader in your garden. Hey, Teresa Bailey, thank you for coming and welcome. We're making an extra large hobo bag with exterior pockets. I also make them with large interior pockets, but that's more intricate and harder to do. I want to show you guys this one because it's easier. So I will press this in a minute, and I will change to black thread, which is going to be a monster. No, actually, I'm going to switch to black thread at night on a black machine. This should be fun. We'll see how it goes. I buy thread on the extra large spools. If you don't have a tall spool holder, you can just put the thread inside a regular heavy ceramic drinking cup and just so that you guys can see what I'm doing over here. I buy thread. I have an antique china closet over there that's actually being used as a thread holder for large spools. So now I am threading this machine, and almost all singers from the very first few ever, they thread the same way. This one threads the same way as the sewing machine I used at school. Oh, this black. But don't worry, I have my piece of white card over here to thread the machine. That should make it easy. I learned that trick when I was in high school, like almost 60 years ago. So it's usually helpful to put a fresh cut on the end of the thread. Let's see if it goes through. Why fight? Okay. So let's try this again. Being quiet for a minute while I thread this. I usually avoid black thread at night at all costs. You guys bear with me. I'm sorry, it's taking a minute. Ta-da! Did it. Uh-oh, am I getting ready to pull it out? All right. And I'm also going to change the bobbin thread and put black, 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 because black on black in black. This should be really fun. Watching Auntie Ellen sew on all this black and her partial blindness. So, see, hi, Brittany. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. This is fun, but this bag is going to be so fabulous. So fabulous. I can't wait to show it to you guys. So, I always, always, always pre-wind bobbins. I pre-wind my own. Oh, and by the way, those of you who have embroidery machines, the professionals that I buy my embroidery machines from, drive safe, Robert. Hey, Robert Grant. Thanks. You're driving in the bushes. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. This is a little box. I don't know what came in it originally. And when I wind my bobbins, I put them in here. They generally have a small ponytail holder on the outside. The bobbins that are black, I put a black ponytail holder, and the ones that are other colors, I put either white or whatever color it is. But I keep them separated, and the featherweight bobbins are different than anything you've ever seen. But I use a bobbin winder and wind a lot in advance before I start a project. I fill this up. I fill up the other one for the other machine. Oh, I was going to tell you, the pre-wound, you can buy pre-wound bobbins for any machine, any machine. But when I took advanced embroidery machine classes, the experts said that it's actually better for your machines to wind them yourself. So I'm just throwing that out there. You do what you want to do. And when you're putting these bobbins in, for those of you, I know Lorraine T bought a featherweight. Don't hold this little, don't hold this little arm when you put it in. There's a little arm sticking up. Don't hold it by that. That makes it easier. But just put it in and trust yourself. You make sure that the needle is in the highest position. Why? Because that's when the tension on the bottom is actually open. It's like a cycle that goes around, and the machine makes, and you push it in until you hear a click. You're winding yours now. It took a while to figure out how it works. Yes, okay, Lorraine, you push it in as far as it goes until it clicks. If it doesn't click, it ain't in. It ain't in. It ain't. It ain't. Then you hold the string up. Uh-oh, there's that bright light. You hold the tail up of the string and you pull the hand wheel forward one time until you see a loop, and you pull the bottom thread up, and then you pull a lot out. Sewing it at night, I'm going to pull a lot of it out because it's black, 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 black. I should not have left this side open. Well, I know what I'm going to do. No, that's right. Let's see. So that's the top. I'm going to put it in. I'll just put a thin seam to close it. I usually, or maybe I'll put two. I'm trying to make it so that the bright light is not in your eyes. Okay, so I'm sewing this pocket closed. This is exciting, you guys, because we are actually making a bag, making a hoboing bag that you could take on the plane. You could actually go away for a week with this bag. It holds a lot. And I'm going to put a bigger stitch length on these older machines, Lorraine T. Generally, sewing with fabric, you put it on 12. What does 12 mean? 12 means 12 stitches per inch. You can go up to 20, 30 stitches per inch, but with all these thicknesses, you can go down to like a 10 or an 8. If you put it all the way down in 6, you guys are using these vintage machines, it's like basting. And you don't want that because it will unravel easily. So I'm sewing through this double-sided fabric, which is doubled, plus a doubled up piece of black. This is that black cone of black that I always tell you guys to get. I love, love, love this fabric because it's really heavy. It's by Kona. I don't know. Maybe they make it in Kona, Hawaii or something. I don't know. And this pocket that's already done, I'm going to stitch it closed as well. So I'm going to make, I didn't stop my machine and break it. This is called assembly line sewing or piece batch sewing. And what I'm doing is sewing the seam closed. You see she goes fast. I just sew slowly when I'm doing my complicated quilt piecing because some of my quilts are real exacting. So I'm cutting all the strings. Now, the exciting part in constructing this bag, and you guys, this Kona makes the best coffee. They have the pineapples too. Oh my gosh, the white pineapples. are the best. The best. So now what I'm going to do to center this pocket on my bag, how do I find the center? I fold it in half. You don't have to do all that marking and pinning, and it's hard to mark on black fabric anyway. So I did have white chalk markers, yellow chalk markers. They're in there. They don't work that well though. When you've been sewing, and look at me with all these strings. One time I was going to one of my advanced quilting groups, and we had been sewing all day, and I stopped in a Walmart. So I have a pin at the top and the bottom to show me the middle. These are the same thing, and I'm going to put a pin in the top and the bottom. How can I tell the front from the back? Because I've decided that this is going to be the front, because this is the double quilted fabric. See that? And this is just plain fabric. Okay. How about that? It looks, when I'm talking to you, I can turn that light off. And I'm just going to hand press this. It's going to be in the inside, so it doesn't really matter. So excited to show you guys this part. So I'm putting a pin in the middle of this pocket that's going on the inside, and a pin in this side. See? Okay. Now you're going to see how fast this bag is going to come together. So now I'm going to take this fabric, and because this I've decided is going to be the outside, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a pin in the middle. If you want to measure, you can. You can. There's no law that says you can. If you want to use this little shortcut method, you can use this method too. It's your world. You do whatever you want to do. So this one is in the middle. Clip the string. And we're going to do, actually, I have those pins in to keep it from slipping from before. There you go. Away with you. Out, evil spot. Okay. So now I'm putting a pin in the center of here. So you decide what wants to be the front of your bag and which you want to be the back. Well, I'm looking at it. This side is just slightly thicker, this little black spotted part on this side. Hello, Mala'a. Thank you for coming and welcome. This side is a little thinner. A little thinner. You're winding yours now, Lorraine? Yeah, there's a learning curve when you buy these featherweights. Okay, so this is the front, just because we just decided. And I'm going to put this flat. And guess what? I'm going to decide how far from the top I want this. And you see this yellow pin? You see this yellow pin? They're lined up, and that's how we are going to do the pockets, except for one thing. I think I'll make a line of, since this one's going to be on the outside, I'm going to make a designer choice of making a decorative stitch along the top of it. Just because. Hi, Mr. Hershey. Hi. How you doing? You hear me talking to somebody and it's not you? So I'm just going to backstitch and I'll show you what I'm actually doing. I don't usually sew over pins, so I'm sew over him real easy. You can hear him chug 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 sewing through all these. And you always put your flywheel going forward. I said that 50 times, but that's just a reminder. And what I did was put just this little line of stitching. These are the little things. The automatic bobbin winder, first time your thread snapped. That's okay. Oh, you know what? Lorraine T, I don't know if you have new thread or old thread, but sometimes that old thread isn't good and it depends on the kind of thread. I usually use the double duty thread, or most of the time you see me over here sewing, I'm actually using quilting thread, which is heavy, the heaviest duty thread you can get. So you guys see this line of detail stitching? These are the little things between a well-made bag and one that's thrown together. It's these little details. Okay, so those are the bags that you buy at Neiman Marcus and other places that cost a fortune because somebody took the time to put these details in. Did they do it because they like you? No. Did they do it because it was the right thing to do? No. They do it because they can get more money for the bags. So what I'm doing, I'm centering the pocket about where I want it. I don't want it to be too far from the top because I want to be able to reach into it. Maybe I'll push it down a little because you see this square? This is the bottom of the bag. And if you put something heavy in the pockets, you don't want her dragging her butt all over the place, do you? So I'm putting a pin there to hold it, a pin here to hold it. And you guys, you can do this with any piece of fabric, a heavy piece of fabric. You don't have to have double quilted fabric. I had this because years ago, before I retired, this is what I used to do. And these were some that were left over from yesteryear. I just started back sewing again in the last few years. And these were sort of like kits that I had pre cut by myself. So there's the pocket that's going on the front. Guess what? I'm putting that cute little pocket. I'm putting one on the inside as well. Why? Because we fancy. We fancy. So what I'm going to do on the inside, because like if you're traveling, going through the airports, whatever, you don't want your cell phone or your money, your cash. You bought something at the airport, they gave you money, then they called your flight, you're running to the flight. You don't want your wallet or something valuable on the outside. You want to put it inside where it's going to be fastened by that cute little button and protected. So I'm putting a couple of pins in the corner on the inside. So this hobo bag, excuse me, my lip keeps slipping. This hobo bag is going to have a convenience pocket on the inside and the outside. Now you won't be able to see the machine go up and down, up and down, up and down because this was just, this pin at the bottom was just to hold it closed. We already sewed across the bottom, so I can pull that one out. One less pin to One less bell to answer. No, one less pin to stick us. So now we're going to go up. Sorry about my hand, you guys, but I'm trying to keep it from moving. And I'm going to edge sew this forward, back, and I'm going to sew right along the side. Right along the side. Again, this is a big, heavy duty bag. This bag will hold, if you can carry 50 pounds, 100 pounds, you preppers, this bag will hold it. This bag will hold it. It's double-sided, double quilted, and as you will see in a minute, it's double stitched. When you have a lot of fabric that needs to go under your sewing arm, no matter what size it is, you just roll it up. You just roll it up and it slides under, and then you just stitch it along. And if you ever stick yourself while you're sewing and it bleeds, some of you have heard me say this before, the only thing that removes human blood is peroxide or your own saliva. Your own saliva. Why do I know that? I don't know. I just know that I know it. I have so much useless information in my Tori's brain. Yeah, so this, I'm going to move my nice little iron thread holder and go down along the edge. I just want to show you guys that you can make one of these for yourself or anyone else in time for the holidays. Something just bit the dust. Okay, oops. So I'm at the top. Good thing I put that pin in the middle, else I would have sewn the top closed. Talking, running my mouth. So now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to backspace the top of the pocket. I'm going to go down a few more, backspace, go down again, just off the edge to reinforce it. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back the same line that I just sewed. This is my open pocket. It's still open. I can actually take this pin out because I don't need it anymore. It's already centered. We're not doing anything else to this pocket except putting our hobo stuff in it, our toothbrush, maybe some clean underwear, whatever we're taking, wherever we're going, and fill her up. That's all we're doing. Now, what I'm doing, I like to do when I make my bags, I go back over the same line that I just sewed on. Why? Because it's double stitch with extra heavy duty quilting thread. I use quilting thread, by the way, like I would use for my long arm machine that I don't have anymore. I do have an industrial machine over in the corner, but this is heavy duty thread that I use for my long arm quilting. Oops, going the wrong way. Got the car in reverse again. So I'm double stitching this pocket on for a strength. You could put a pew pew in here, you guys. If you were prepping, your pew pew would go right in here, or anything else that was heavy. Why? Because you made a heavy duty bag and it's double stitched. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to double stitch here. I mean back stitch, not double stitch. So you see I'm rolling the side so it fits easily underneath here. almost forgot. It went so fast. So I'm backstitching again. So I've actually backstitched the corners like 6 or 8 times. 6 or 8 times. And I just love these scissors. This should be for cutting thread, but they're handy and they're long. I don't have to get to them. And that's probably my snips that fell on the floor before. Okay, so now that's the inside pocket. So there's going to be a little line outside, but that's just part of the design. Now we're going to stitch the front pocket on. Then we'll do the sides, and guess what? It'll look like a bag already. So I'm sticking this edge under. This is the huge front pocket. Huge, huge, huge. It'll hold a lot. Making sure the bobbin thread is up. Why? Because it's black on a black machine and I'm sewing mixed black fabric. It'll be hard to see. Even for you young whippersnappers, us old folk, we have to work at it. This is how we work. Backstitching a little. Backstitching. I sew barefoot. Actually, I have socks on. Yankee Sister Home said, "Hola, hermana." At auto repair. Hello, she can't trap. That's okay. I already showed them your food you brought me. Thank you, my sister, my Yankee Sister Homestead. It's so nice to have a sister in the house. So we're sewing the front pocket on, you guys. And I'm just sewing it close to the edge with black fabric. Is this easy for me? Yes. I don't know. I've made hundreds and hundreds of bags in my lifetime, and it's my own pattern. It's my own pattern. I just made it up years ago, and I modify it. And almost every bag is virtually the same. What are you doing, Mr. Hershey? And Mr. Hershey, at his vet, there's another dog named Hershey. They can't find Mr. Hershey's records unless I say Mr. Hershey. So I'm backstitching a little on the corners because this is I was just checking to make sure where the top of the bag was. I'm like, what? Did I get around the edge? Hello, sir. I'm still talking to my friends in YouTube land. I'm not talking to you. So now I'm coming along the bottom edge. Coming along the bottom edge. And again, Erica, my fly family, you can put Billy's toys in here. You could put anything. This will hold anything. And it's cute. You could take this to the range or anywhere else you're going, and nobody would know what you have in there. Not that it's anybody's business. I'm just going slowly because I'm getting near the corner, and I want to do it nice and neatly. Hold it down. She's going slow. She's going through like, I don't know, 6 or 8. And my foot's not all the way on the pedal. Actually, the pedal's upside down. That's why. Just a minute, you guys. I'm turning him around. He's backwards. Okay. Here we go. Yep, here's the top. We're going to backstitch, go off the edge a little. Why? Because it gives it a little more strength. Then we're going to take these extra pins out. This is the basic part. I know, Yankee Sister, you're going to go back and watch it. Why? Because you will be making a bag like this because your son-in-law picked up your kit yesterday. And you already have your pocket cut out and the basic bag is cut out for you. Already. Okay. Just making sure nothing's covering. I have a heavy duty light. Oh, that was my thread holder. The only reason I'm picking it up is so that my thread doesn't get tangled up. Let me see, where are you? Come out. You had a little wreck over here. There's the thread. Here's the steeple. Open the door and see all the people. Okay. So here we go. That's life. And here are my snips over here now. Let me just make sure. Where's the thread? Just don't want it to snag too much. I will sew into it. So back the other way we go, because I really want to sew the sides for you so you can see the bottom of the bag and that you can do it yourself. After this, all that we will need to do will be to put the handles on it. Okay, so now I'm sewing the front pocket down. Sewing the front pocket down, the front pocket down. And when you have these antique, machines, Lorraine and those of you who use the antique machines, for every 8 hours of sewing, you should put a couple of drops of oil in it, at least the important parts that you're using. This one sounds like she needs a little, but I'm not going to stop and do it right now. Back switch a little. Now I'm turning the corner. This is the bottom because we see these two little tabs. So let me check my thread because it might be a little wrapped up in all these loops of the flower when it fell. And it is. But why don't I just unthread it? Life happens, but I know how to fix it. Been there, done that. What are you guys saying? 6 to 8? No, Lorraine. 6 to 8 is basting. I'm doing like about a 10 size stitch, 10 inches per inch right now. So putting the thread back up through the thread guide. Now it should catch without going around too many times. Let's see. And how about this? I'm going to put it back where it belongs so that it doesn't get caught on anything. Because as you guys see, it's kind of difficult. We're going this way now. Kind of difficult to see black on black in black. Sounds like one of those old Lou Rawls songs, black on black in black. And away we go. We're going forward. Let me see if I'm missing any questions. Yankee Sister Homestead, Unbiased, LLC. Sells barefoot as well. I love these bags, Queen. As soon as I get some free time, I'm going to make this bag. Thanks for showing us how it's done. Yes, Lorraine T, 12 stitches per inch is when you're sewing fabric. When you're sewing fabric, when you're sewing these thicknesses, you can sew whatever you want. But my experience is that it's going to get caught up. And wait, if you ever have to pick out those little stitches, honey, those little stitches will not, the seam ripper won't even go through it. Won't even go through it. Like some of you want to sew 21 stitches or whatever, that's for paper piecing. What is paper piecing? Paper piecing is English paper piecing. And it's this tiny little detail work like this. This one little 4-inch block has about 25, 30 pieces in it. And it's very, very exact. 10 inches machine quilting. 10 inches if you're using this thick fabric, making a bag, Lorraine. So backstitch a little, a few times. So that means I've backstitched that edge about 8-10 times. Then I can't wait to show you guys this next part. The next part, because you can see the bag come together squared up. We can go hoboing this weekend, as a matter of fact, because she ready. So I'm cutting these extra strings. Okay, so let's see what we have. We don't need this pin in there anymore in the pocket. The pocket is there for good. We don't need any pins in the pocket inside. What is this? Something's tied up. Okay. Hold on, you guys. Trying to find the edges of my thread. Where's this thread coming from? It's hard to see. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it right there, because I think it's just pulling. Got tangled up on something, including my scissors. Use my snips to take it apart. Isn't it fun sewing on black at night? Now this is tangled up here. All right, so this is our bag construction. This is the front of the bag. This is the back. And this is the inside of the back where you got this big pocket. Now, the fun part, we're going to sew the sides up, and you're actually going to see the bag come together right now. Okay, so we're going to put the edges together, put a couple pins. Put a couple pins. Don't worry about any strings hanging out because we're going to get the pinking shears later on and go by and hook those up. Rachel, for those of you who have a serger, you could actually sew this seam, serge it I mean. I'm making sure that none of the strings are in the edges. I'm just pulling them out because there are a lot. Actually, I might do a little bit of trimming with the pinking shears. No, these are faster. Okay, so now we're sewing the sides of the bag together. I'm just getting some of these. This bag has actually been cut out like for 8 years, but I wasn't sewing. But now the machine is, let me make sure it's rethreaded correctly. Here's the top thread. Where's the bottom thread? I'm just checking, guys, because something is rotten in Denmark. Oh, it's under the seam there. Well, let me just put the bobbin back in because I really want you guys to see the bottom of this bag and see it sit flat. So we're going to pull the bobbin thread up. My foot was loose. I'm going to put the bobbin, put the flywheel down, pull it forward, pull up one stitch. So we have them both. We're putting it in the back. I don't know what all this thread is doing all balled up, but I will sew until it runs out. It looks like it's broken over here, but we'll see because we're just keep going, right? Rachel Unbiased LLC, we're going for it. I heard you fall, big sisters. So let's go. Let's go for it. We're sewing the sides up. And we're doing an inside seam. Sometimes I do a double fell seam, but it's not necessary with this bag. Back we go. And so we're just sewing down the sides. Just trying to keep the light out of your eyes, guys. I don't know about you, but bright lights drive me crazy with my glaucoma and my thyroid. The two of those gang up on me, and what a pain. Back stitch, forward stitch, then going to take these two pins out, and I'm going to do what I did for the pockets, and I'm going to flip the bag over and double stitch and go back the same way. So under we go, back stitch, Go forward. Okay. So just checking the thread, trying to see which. Oh, this thread is broken. It's tangled. Just a sec. Just a sec. This is going to happen to you guys when you're sewing too. Little things, don't even sweat it. Just when that happens, take your thread out and rethread the machine. Rethread the machine. It takes seconds. Once you find the end of it, there we go. I knew something was crazy before. I could tell something was wrong, but I couldn't tell where. So now I'm just rethreading it. Pull this old string out. And we're almost done. In 5 minutes, we'll have this part finished. And a beautiful bag was had by all. You fellas can make some of this for your ladies, your wives, your significant others, your daughters. You know, I don't know what it is about the United States, but the men here are so strange about sewing. I don't get it. In other countries, the men are the ones who make all the money doing all the tailoring for centuries. For centuries. All the big designers, you can count on your fingers the ones that are women. All the big designers are all men. All men. All men. And guess what? They all sewed to make their designs. In Africa and other countries, you see those guys with those great big black Singer sewing machines on their head going down to the market, and they have usually treadle machines or machines that don't need electricity. Just a second. They're carrying them on their heads, and they're taking them down to the local markets or where they can set them up with a beautiful fabric and sew it. Just a sec. Where's my little white card? Okay. Just a sec, you guys. Oh, just a second. I've got this machine on this crazy angle, trying to keep the light out of your eyes. Just give me a minute. Okay. Let me say hi, passionately intrigued art, Miss Shirley. Hello, hello, hello. You could do with this all day. Oh, Lorraine T only did 3. Come on, Nightbot. 3 should be allowed. I'm going to that part. I know I'm going to fix. Just a minute, you guys. Trying to get this crazy black machine threaded with black thread at night. Well, I'll do it one more try. Let me snip it one more time. There we go. Oy vey. That was the pain in the keister. But I remember when I used to not be able to do it all at all. And Auntie Joanne and my great grandkids and my granddaughter and everybody else had to help me, but I did it myself. Hey, Lorraine. So I'm just going to finish these two sides because it's so exciting to see it come together. So I'm going to sew it back up. So we're double sewing it. And I usually clean up all the strings right away, but I don't want to go hold you guys too long. So here we go. Trying to keep the angle of the light away from you guys. So what I'm doing is double stitching the same. Oh no, you did not. Oh my gosh. The devil is always busy. I guess I was trying to sew too fast with all the thicknesses, and it didn't like it. Between him and Nightbot getting on my last glass nerve. Or check the oven. But sometimes it just bees like that, right? Just got to keep kicking the can forward. Keep kicking the can forward. That's what you do. Actually, I can't even see it anymore. Well, you guys, I'll tell you what. My eyes are giving out. I can't see anymore. The glaucoma, my eyes are unfocused. But we will finish this on Saturday. So, but I'll show you this for those of you who just came in. This is the inside of the bag. I'll turn it out so you can see what it's going to look like. And I'll be sewing during the sunlight hours. It'll be easier on my eyes. And this will be the outside of a giant hobo bag with a flat bottom and nice straws. And you're amazing, Sissy. And amazing. I did my best, you guys. It just won't go anymore. So we'll be back Saturday and we'll be finished. And I want to encourage each of you to do what you love. Don't overdo it. Miss Shirley, take my nap. Thanks for coming, everybody. Oops, let me turn this light out of your eyes. So I love you. Peace, love, and blessings. Mom, if you're watching, Egawamote, you guys, thanks for hanging with me. And this was great. We had a great live. And I'll see you 6 p.m. on Saturday. And Miss Shirley's going live at 7 o'clock. And I think Odom is going live at 9 o'clock. Passionately Intrigued Arts, thank you. And I will stay right here and show you guys. And it's going to be great. Thank you for coming. I love you all. And you're going to love this bag. You're going to love this bag. Thank you. Good night, Mommy.